3.
Peace, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the commercials and everything. Of course, we had to go pay some bills. Again, welcome back to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM102jams.com. We're going to go back into the subject as well as some other things, of course. So, again, back to the use of the N-word. You know, it's funny because I was just watching the one of my favorite other podcasts, besides my own, of course, I think it's called The People's Party, Talib Kweli's podcast that I watch on YouTube every now and then. And he happened to have, the episode that I watched today earlier was the one with Anthony Anderson on there. And he happened to talk about, they were talking about the use of the N-word on the episode of Blackish, or what have you. And it was real interesting. And they really did talk about it a lot, or what have you. And I understand in that episode, they bleeped it out whenever someone said it, or what have you. But, you know, it's in regards for, and Talib talked about this on his podcast as well, in regards for, you know, making sure, he said his true fans, his true white fans, they know not to say it when they're at his concerts or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So he said the true fans who are white know not to say it at all. You know what I'm saying? But in regards for Blackish, it was definitely an eye-opening episode that he talked about with Anthony Anderson and how they dealt with it and what have you. And you know, and they tended to bleep it out. And, you know, of course, on a show like that, they use it, or they can do a subject matter like that so masterfully that it gets a point across, teaching a message as well as being able to make you laugh at the same time. Especially when you have the mother of Black Hollywood on there, Miss Jennifer Lewis. She is hilarious. Prayerfully one day, you know, I pray to God that I get to work with her one day, you know, in that regard for acting and what have you. But, you know, it's just amazing. What do you do with an episode like that? You know what I'm saying? And it has to be talked about. I remember the Will Smith's TV show, not Fresh Prince, but the one that he produced that starred Dwayne Martin and Tisha Campbell. And they had an episode like that where I think it was like one of Tisha's character's friends, or actually it was Dwayne Martin, Tisha Campbell, and Lisa Ray. It was one of Tisha Campbell's friends or what have you who was white, and she said it or what have you, and they had to sit her straight or what have you in that regard. You know, it's definitely a difficult topic to cover, to talk about. Well, let's put it to you. Let me ask y'all this. Why are we as black folks the only ones to use that word, to call ourselves that, but you don't hear none of the other races or any ethnicities calling themselves the derogatory words that, you know, given to them, you know, as well. You know, you don't hear Latinos calling themselves spics. You don't hear, you know, especially Mexicans, you don't hear them calling themselves wetbacks or anything of that nature. I would never, first of all, me personally, I would never call anybody, you know, out their name in that regard, you know, whether I like you or not. And it's very hard for me not to like somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you don't hear other races or other nationalities, you know, anybody at all using their derogatory words as a form of endearment. You know what I'm saying? But we, however, have adapted the word nigga to mean, it went from slave, it went to ignorant person, and then it went on to like a whole, and then now it's like my brother. You know what I'm saying? It's taken on 3 different meanings. Apparently, let me rephrase that. It apparently is taking on 3 different meanings over the course that it's been used, particularly in this country. You know, but me, I say leave it in the context in which it was used during slavery, or even before slavery started, if you want to put it in that regard, when slavery was really, when American slavery was just getting started, or what have you, you know, on throughout slavery and on throughout up to now. You know what I'm saying? Like, why get mad when somebody else from another race calls you that, but you don't get mad at your brother? You know what I'm saying? Or that says it, you know? Plus, we have too many different words in our slang dictionary or in our language in that regard, to use in place of that word. You know what I'm saying? I always go up to any brother I know, hence, brother, any friend of mine I know that's a guy, what's up, bruh? What's up, brother? King, what's going on, King? You know what I mean? Even our women, it's like, peace, queen, how you doing? Or in anything in that regard, anything other than that particular word, you know what I'm saying? And usually I know, for the most part, I know not to get offended, really, when somebody of my race says it towards me. I know, depending on how it's being used, of course, you know what I'm saying? If it's somewhere in regards to being anger, for instance, like the movie Boys in the Hood, you know what I'm saying? And Paris bumps into, when Paris bumps into Ricky, or what have you, and how he responds, and how he responds to Paris when he bumped into him. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But, still, I choose not to use it. And I prefer, I've already put this post on Facebook, I prefer, and I just requested for those of y'all that are my friends and those of y'all that are my family, not to call me that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'd rather, just call me bruh, brother, king, we gotta have you, what I'm saying, anything in that regard. But, to be called that, it's like, it just seems backwards to me, you know what I'm saying? And here's how ignorant it can be sometimes, because I put a post or I answered a video in regards for the word being used or what have you, and I just said, it just feels like, the slave masters are just laughing in their graves right now, that they have us, really laughing at, they're laughing at us right now because we've been using it. And, I had a few people, respond to my comment like, well, maybe, something like, because I shouldn't be on social media then, or you sound like blah, 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 this, that, and that. I'm like, y'all are real ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Not even ignorant, ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Because, you are exactly the type of, brother or sister, let me take that back. You're exactly the right type of, black person that, somebody whose racist absolutely loves and absolutely adores. Somebody who's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And that, please, when I say this, for those of y'all listening to me right now, if you're thinking I'm ignorant, well, there's a difference between ignorant and ignorant. Because ignorance, you can be respectfully ignorant or what have you. It may not, maybe you're not in the know of something, or maybe you just say something that you think is out of the ordinary, or maybe should not have said, but then you might apologize for it, or you may not, even if you're not coming from a different or negative mind frame. But with somebody who's ignorant, like you just ignorant, you just so far beyond ignorant, like there's almost no hope in saving you. Like that's just how bad ignorant is. So I even have the expanded phrase in ignorance. You know what I'm saying? In your ignorance, you know what I'm saying? You just so far gone. It's like there's no even a reason for me to even bother with you, or someone who's intelligent to even bother with you and trying to be intelligent, to explain something to you. You know what I'm saying? Again, to each his own. I know, of course, this may not be a big deal to some people. You're going to continue to use it however freely you say, however, that you feel like, or what have you. But, you know what I'm saying? This is just things that we have to take into account. And we wonder why people treat us a certain way, or what have you. You wonder why we treat each other a certain way, in that regard. Now, I know, some, white people the same way, we treat, not always the case. You know what I'm saying? That is not always the case, because, there is a difference, or what have you, especially when it comes to them. I'm assuming now, for all my white friends and, white people out there, please correct me if I'm wrong. I know that can be a class issue. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, it might be okay for, I don't know how that works, but I mean, it might be okay for someone who lives in a trailer park to call each other rednecks or what have you, or, and whereas, I don't know, how that works or what have you, but I do know that regardless, our people's use of the N-word is like really, really ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And granted, hey, I've been guilty of using it. I'm not claiming to be no saint. Again, going back to what I said earlier, I stopped using it back in 1997 when I was a sophomore at Hampton University. And, I just decided that from that point on, I wasn't going to use it no more. But before then, oh yeah, it was everything. Oh my, you want, you my right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you went crazy. I did all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's back in the days when I used to curse. I don't curse. Do that. You know what I'm saying? To even stop doing that because, sidebar real quick, the movie Malcolm X, made me stop cursing. You know what I'm saying? When the scene where Brother Baines is in the shower telling Brother Malcolm, a man, what did he say? A man only curses because he doesn't have the words to say what's on his mind. You know what I'm saying? So that got me to stop using profane language in that regard in my everyday talk. Now, in that regard, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'll do it for a movie role or TV role or what have you. But that's something different. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a character I would be playing. I don't know. But still, use of the word. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. I want to let me know your thoughts. You can always, if you're watching on my live feed on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook, Brian, Brian, middle initial T, last name Bethea, Bethea, Confessions, that's Brian T. Bethea, Confessions. Of course, you can definitely holler at me, inbox me on there. Please do not message my personal page, because if I do not know you, I may not, accept your friend request or what have you, but please go to my artist page, Brian T. Bethea Confessions, on Facebook. You can even DM me on Instagram, the Phoenix 516. And of course, let's not forget about the app, y'all. The app. For every one of y'all, please don't forget to download the WJHM102jams.com app. Definitely check that out. You definitely, if you have an Android, you know what I'm saying? I got to make sure I get that right. All my Android users, stand up. We got to, because these iPhone folks, listen, man, I got to lighten the things. I got to lighten the mood a little bit. These iPhone people, y'all be some bougie people, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight bougie. You know what I'm saying? And just come in everywhere like, does anybody in there have an iPhone? And an iPhone charger, and we find out, no, I have an Android. They scoff at you. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say because the app is only available on Android. All my iPhone users, sorry, you have to go through your browser. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Listen, you want to get the app, you got to go to Apple, demand Apple, lower the price on the thing that you want us to carry, that we want y'all to carry it for. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe we'll carry it for iPhone users. But definitely go to the app, check that, and download it. Listen, you can listen to all of my past episodes for Confessions with Brian T. Bethea, as well as all the other episodes on the website as well. So don't forget, you can also do that. And listen, we also want to talk about a few other things other than the use of the N-word, because I had a couple of other things that we needed to talk about as well. You know what I'm saying? So listen, what we're going to do as time is winding down, we got to go to break in just a second. We definitely want to come back. Sisters, I hope you are listening, because I know y'all are tired of people coming up to touch y'all hair. You know what I'm saying? Especially without asking permission. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely know that y'all are tired of that. I just had this conversation last night, with a friend of mine. Shout out to my homegirl, Dominique. You know what I'm saying? We just had this discussion yesterday, and she was talking about how some friends of hers wanted to just come up to her and just start touching her hair or what have you. So it's going to get a little fun. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want y'all to talk about that with me. You know what I'm saying? Especially, this also goes for men who are bald. You know what I'm saying? All my bald head brothers. You know what I'm saying? People want to come up to us and just touch a bald head. Listen, I don't know where your hands have been. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I don't let people touch my head. So listen, we're going to come back from break in just a second. Always remember, of course, stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Keep it rocking. Don't worry about it because we're going to get into it for our last 18 minutes of the show or what have you. So definitely remember you are listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM102jams.com.